Well, hello and welcome into our trackside streaming, your second screen as we build into the Vodafone New Zealand Derby here out of Ellerslie. We will have an in-depth preview leading into our next live race, which will be race number at the Waikato Stud Plate, and then lead into the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. Bevan Sweeney's with us. Well, Sydney has been a very good day of racing so far. We're getting closer to that big race worth $1 million in the Derby. But so far, what have you made of the day leading in?
Well, I think the track's played pretty fairly when the tempo's been in. We're seeing some excellent runs by two or three horses. A couple have slipped up the inside with jockeys rolling off the inside. We've seen a couple come from back in the field. So all in all, I think the track has played really nicely. It's a good three-track condition, and it's only going to get better because the next race on our program, BP, this is one heck of a sprinting race with the railway winner in here, Ferrando close up in a Telegraph, and there's a host of other top-line sprinters in our next.
Joined by Stephen Hunt here as well, and punters have got it right in a couple of races throughout the day so far.
Yeah, notably pinned me down the Sunline Vars. Gee, how's that stable flying at the minute? Pam Gerard, Mike Moroney, I think that's 17 wins for the season. Their best is 21. We're only in the month of March, so plenty to look forward to for that stable, including on the rocks next weekend. But yeah, look, there's been a couple of notable drifters that have won also. Honesty early in the program. Podravina was a notable drifter. They backed against her. She managed to do the business. What do you make about these jockeys leaving the rail in the last 2 to 3 races?
I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's interesting because we've seen winners come from up along that rail position where they have been rolling off.
Well, I think that in the previous race, Queen of the Air just got tired and just through that natural sort of loss of action rolled off and allowed the horse to come through on the inside. And there's a couple of horses in behind who had been unlucky in their previous start, so jockeys really didn't want to make that mistake again. So they were coming off the inside to get to the centre of the track. And of course, the Ocean opened and the run was taken. The previous one, I'm not quite so sure. They sort of angled off at the top of the straight. I think a couple were green there and allowed horses to come in, but they do seem to be trying to roll off the inside, Stephen. So it's interesting with a couple of runs up the inside. It doesn't appear to be the place not to be, at least.
Yeah. All right, well, Aidan Rodley is standing by with a couple of legends, NGH Harris and also Frank Ritchie.
I just let them go, actually, Brendan. They just talk and talk, and it's great too. There's some of the stories, I guess there'll be a few that'll be okay for our broadcast, Noel, especially around your derby. You remember Hale? Just tell us about that year.
It was just unbelievable. Everything clicked for me, and I gave myself a good chance, and through the race I couldn't have asked for a better run. Next minute out the side of my eye I saw Cooksey coming, and to be truthful, within one stride I could have lost the derby. Cookie went past me and I finally run him down the last little bit, but as far as butterflies and in a race like that, all the luck in the world, that little bird on your shoulder can go a long way. I've seen a lot of good horses get beaten in a derby, but to win derbies you have to be good. Yeah.
What does it mean to a jockey, to the 18 jockeys that are about to get out and hop on a horse in their derby? What's going through their minds?
It's butterflies, nerves, and once that gate opens, it's a big relief. But in saying that, the job's in front of you, and all you're hoping for is probably a free going run, and the tempo's good, But being a derby, there's so many ifs and whats, and turnarounds through the race, and it can be a rough house.
Yeah. Who are you tipping this year, Noel?
Well, I think Vinny's, I think he can get his 7th. But for a roughie, I like that Nobu. I thought I seen Opie ride him the other day, and he got him really nice to line. I thought 2-4, and with Chris Waller's magic, I thought he could be the upset.
Exactly. Noel Harris from Noel. Let's get to a man who knows Derby pretty well. And of course, your boy's got one in today, Sean with swords drawn. You giving him any chance?
Well, he's a nice horse on the way up, certainly. He may be 6 months away from a Derby, so I think it'll be a very nice day in time to come. So if he gets a good run, he'll run a race.
Okay, I think we're going to take you back to 1985, aren't we, for Bone Crushers Derby? What do you recall of that?
Well, being extremely nervous. Half the people on the course here today weren't born then, you're going to remember. That was a long time ago, but he was... he was obviously a terrific horse and was on his home track, and it was nice. It was just Gary gave him a great ride, so
Exactly, and of course it was a launching pad in many ways to success across the Tasman, first of all in Australian Derby as well.
That's right. Well, with the Australian Derby, that was a different kettle of fish because we'd run him in the Tancred the week before, and he ran that sensational way to win that race. But it just took more out of him than I'd thought. And I remember getting a blood test on him shortly after that. I was a bit worried about him. He appeared stressed, and the vet said he should just go straight home. He's got no hope. Anyway, we did start him, and he won it. But he didn't win it with the way he'd been winning previously, and we could see. And when he got on the plane the other end after it, you could see he'd had enough. But he got through it and won both derbies, and not many do it.
Exactly, and it says a hell of a lot about the quality of that horse. What about outside Sean's horse? Who you think in this year's derby? Whose horse to beat?
Well, I think In a Twinkling went pretty well. I think the boys weren't sure to work him out earlier on. He just a couple of the races he went a bit ordinary, but that was a big run the other day. Obviously the favourite's going to be hard. He's a very good horse and looks like a relaxed horse. But I think he's paying $7.
Yeah.
That's my sort of bet.
Okay, and before we let you go, can you win the last?
Look, I'm very worried about the draw. Okay. We just keep drawing bad alleys, and it's significant that the race she's won this time and she's run some terrific races, was from barrier 1, and she'll have to get back, I think, from that barrier, and that's going to be hard. I know they're winning from the back, but so we're reliant on a good pace. If we get a good solid pace, we're a chance.
Okay, best of luck. Frank Ritchie joining us here, and of course he's got Fiscal Fantasy in the last of the program. Sean Ritchie, his son, with swords drawn in the derby itself. Emily Boston, let's get to you, and I think there might be some antics happening should a couple of these strappers be successful in today's derby. Can you give us a bit of a preview?
I can. It's not today's derby. Now, what I've been told is it's next week's New Zealand Stakes. So Amelia, who looks after St. Emilion, has challenged the winning strapper of the race to do a cartwheel. So it's a pretty cool concept. You came up with it yourself. Do you think you can have A, the winning horse, and B, the best cartwheel?
I think so.
Oh, confidence here, very confident. Before we let you do a sample cartwheel to see what you've got, you look after Bobby D, and it's just building up to the derby. These are the days that you strappers, you live for. It's so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, myself, I love Derby Day. Of course, every big race day is a thrill, but this is sort of a race day that you look forward already like middle of the spring and during the summer, and it's always such a thrill to have horses in it.
Bobby D is my pick out of the Baker horses, and I know he's yours. What do you think about his chances, and where do you think he can finish?
Well, when you look at his latest effort and running fourth in Avondale Guineas, I'd say he's a chance, and with a positive ride, I think he's a chance.
Well, fingers crossed, because he's my tip as well, so hopefully we can get the win. Now, the cartwheel, let's see what we've got, and fingers crossed, this time next week we'll be watching you cartwheel around the parade ring. Go for it, Amelia. Oh, beautiful balance, style, poise. If she was in a race, you'd be backing her. Back to you guys.
All right, we'll leave the cartwheels to Amelia, that is for sure. There'll be none done back here, that is for sure. I can guarantee you that. But good work, Emily, there. Around at the stables, and yes, of course, Team Baker, they've got 3 in the race. I've cut a deal as a runner that I want to come to Stephen Hunt about very shortly as well, because I know it was the pre-post favourite to win the Vodafone New Zealand Derby leading into the Avondale Guineas. Then things went awry. So has there been any money for cut a deal?
Not really, not enough to encourage punters to invest on cut a deal in final field betting. We saw a little push 3 or 4 days out in futures betting around cut a deal. $16, $18 quote. He was as short as $6 in futures betting prior to the Avondale Guineas. $16 currently in final field. He's a winning result. I think if he wins the Derby, there'll be a few angry punters on course, no doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a run where I know Murray sort of even said, Bevan, that, he's even scratching his head with what happened.
We all were. We just thought this horse would lob up and go on by, because that's what he suggested to us the previous run. You can forgive a horse one. That's a mantra that Tony says on more than one occasion down in the Central Districts, and I'm going to forgive him one. I think he's a much better horse than we saw in the Avondale Guineas, and he may be a big upsetter in the race, but I think there's a fair few tickets that run through him from a period of time ago.
All right, so Surely Sacred is a horse who's at $3.80 on your opening quote, sitting around $3.40 at the moment.
Turnovers just hit the 100k mark in final field win betting. Surely Sacred holds 35,000, so you do the maths, he could easily start around that $3 chance. in about just over an hour's time, Surely Sacred. Really, outside him, it's a nice even spread of money. We'll go in depth runner by runner in the next 60 minutes, but clearly he is the best backed and the one the punters have identified for the Group 1.
All right, so that's a look at the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. Just quickly around a couple of the runners, and Surely Sacred, the favourite at the moment at $3.40. Vernon Me in a twinkling. They're all in the single figures as well. All right, we'll touch on the first race that we are taking here on our streaming service, which will be race number 8, and it is the Waikato Stud Plate. And Princess Kiruru is the favourite at $5.10 and $1.80 around this runner. You've also got the likes of Spring Heat, who was, well, I mean, her figures were incredible what she did here last up from an impossible position. And then you've got the Ferrando influence of him being the speed runner. He's drawn out, he likes to go forward and put himself in the race. And Santa Monica as well, who was the winner of the Railway and gets in a better position in the weights today under set weights and penalties.
Yeah, she gets in beautifully, doesn't she, at 56 kilos. She's been up in the weights ever since the big win here over Princess Kiruru. So weighted to be very, very competitive here today. The two runs with the big weights, they were both very, very good as well. You expect sometimes with the big weight that they're going to be beaten 4 or 5 lengths, but she's been within 2.5 lengths of Drossen and Eva Loyal. Now that form is rock solid, and so she gets in at the perfect weight.
Yeah, set weights and penalties. Punters very keen on Santa Monica, the Railway winner, $8.50 on opening, now trading $8. I'm comparing this race to the Sunline Vars, where they're just not too sure, punters. We're seeing an even spread of money on half a dozen runners. I'm just waiting for that last 10, even maybe 5 minutes to try and give punters a clear lead.
All right, well, let's go runner by runner now. Our horse is starting to parade behind us. And here is Santa Monica, runner number 1. The speed's on. She's a horse who can get that right track into the race with her barrier draw. $8 and $2.80 is backable. Just coming in now to $7.50 is Santa Monica, trained by Stephen Ralph and Trudy Fontainebleau.
She can run the section order to win this race. She's just been tied down with the big weights of late. 56 kilos suits. Yep, she can be certainly in the mix, and she'll be in my 4.
As I mentioned earlier, well supported, $8.50 into $7.
Let's move on to the next in the book now, and it will be runner number 2 in Ferrando. He ran second, and a very close second in the Telegraph. Many thought it was going to be a dead heat with how long it did take for that photo come through when Enzo's lad just grabbed him on the line. He's won just the one race round here at Ellerslie, which was on Derby Day in 2017. He's trained by Team Rogerson and Matt Cameron aboard.
And he is quick, so he's drawn out. He'll get to the front, I don't think, with much pressure being applied to him. He's well capable of running the time required here. He's going to be in his natural spot. Good 3-track conditions suit him down to the ground. There's a lot of positives about him. I thought he would start even shorter than maybe $5. He was 6 into 5. I think the price is right on the mark from the book.
Is he your favourite?
He is my favourite personally, that I think if he gets it soft, they may be chasing a memory.
Okay, well, he's opened $6 during the week. It's what we call smart money. That brought his price into $5 on Thursday for Rando. A little bit of a question mark personally about right-handed. Is he as good right-handed v left-handed? But he could start favourite in a very open race.
Right, we'll quickly get through a couple of other runners for you. Basu, runner number 3. She's a mare that ran second in the Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders. Was the winner of the Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders and ran second behind Ever Loyal last time.
I think this horse is well capable as well. It was really unlucky 2 starts ago, and length and a half off Ever Loyal's good form, and the form prior to that have been very, very good. Good sprinting mare who came back north and got the job done.
Not budge since the opening line of $10, remains that price.
Right, let's move on to runner number 8 now. It's Fox Lightning. Look, she's a horse who was good in the Telegraph because she was finishing into 8th position, but she was sectionally very good. She won the Swayness in the early part of the season, and her most recent run she ran 3rd in the Concord.
Gee, I tried to find a place for Fox Lightning in my first 4 because she just runs around Ellerslie so well. She's always competitive here. She's well capable of running in 4.
Again, just like Bisu, they mirror each other. The way the trade happens and also the opening lines, 10 has not budged.
Spring Heat, number 9, $7 on the fixed odds. She's a horse who's awkwardly drawn. As I said beforehand, Bevan, it's hard to ignore her numbers here. I mean, she's peeled off one of the fastest last 600s we've seen at Ellerslie this summer with what she did last time.
I put a line through her last night when I sort of did my speed bet. What I've seen here today, that's a mistake, because I think with the speed in this race with Ferrando, she's well capable of getting across the top of them from back in the field. So her numbers, her sectionals all say that she should be in my 4.
Spring Heat Princess Kidderoo opened $5 each of 2 when betting commenced on Wednesday. Has shifted 2 4 points out to $7. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a late push on Spring Heat because it has happened a number of times this preparation.
Yeah, she's been one of those horses, hasn't she, where there's been that late money for her. Runner number 10, Princess Kidderoo. Lot to like about her with the tempo in the race, with where she's drawn. She sits beautifully at 53 kilograms. She ran second in the Railway. She ran a very close up 7th in the Concord.
Yeah, I went very close to putting her on top of Ferrando. I just went with Ferrando on speed from that gate with a good 3, but she'll get a very soft running behind them, and she does have a devastating turn of fight.
Open 5 has not budged in that second line of betting now with the warm support around Ferrando. Maybe the question mark, because this horse is going to be running for us the good 3. I think a lot of punters were hoping maybe a little bit of give for Princess Kidderoo.
All right, so second line of betting around Princess Kidderoo at the moment. All right, horse is about to head out onto the track. There is number 7 in Hassa Halo. We might as well mention that horse quickly while we see this runner in picture shot. As we know, she is a Group 1 winner of 1,000 guineas, 164 days off the scene, her last trial, where she was working home strongly to finish into 3rd position.
And quality horse, 1,200 metres. I'll just be watching today.
She loves the big roomy tracks. Riccarton, Trentham, also Ellerslie. I think a wide gate is a tick, but money is suggesting that she will need this run. The Group 1 winner is a 3-year-old, open at 12, now trading at $18.
She was good enough as a 2-year-old, wasn't she? Ran second in the Karaka Million behind Melody Bell. Did Hassa Halo, and yeah, the stable and jockey combo have been in form. There is a Group 1 winner heading down to the start there, and that is of the Railway in Santa Monica, $842.70, and rated at the moment at $7 with bookmakers. Is runner number 1 in Santa Monica. Basu heading down to the start at 10:43.50. There's Ronki, 26s and 7s for Craig Grills, and this one for Wallace and Peard. What about Recanto? He's another one that plays a part in this tempo, Bevan.
Yeah, I think he'll have the back of Ferrando, so given every chance. Last start performance behind Ever Loyal. A lot of these horses are coming out of that race. It was on a par with 2 or 3 of them, so the price in the market maybe a little bit over as you compare it to a couple of the others that went around in that particular race.
41 into 31, Recanto.
All right, so horses are on the way down to the start for the program. Group 3, Waikato Stud. Favouritism around this horse. Good money around Princess Kidderoo as well, and Santa Monica. Aidan, to you with King Kelso.
Yep, grab Ken and Princess Kidderoo. Geez, her form's been good this preparation. How is she for today?
Yeah, she's very good, Aidan. She's trained on good, happy with her. Draws her help, obviously. And she comes back in with 53 on her back, so no, I'm very happy with her.
Yeah, there are a lot of those factors that really do sort of put her in good stead for today. What are you expecting?
Oh, I'm expecting her to go good, Aidan. You know, I mean, form's been good all year, so expect her to run a nice race.
Yep. With that barrier 1, do you try and use it as much as you can?
No, we'll stick it to a pad, and she'll probably be 3 back to fence somewhere, and they're winning on the rail, so Cameron will have to make his mind up what he does, but that's his job.
Yep. How's her progress been since that last one?
Yeah, no, very good. She goes better on the fresh side. She's worked up very well, so no, I'm happy with her.
Okay, safely through this one. Is there something else in mind for her?
No plans at this stage. We'll get through this one first.
Okay, best of luck with that.
Thank you.
We'll just keep it here because we might just whip around here as well. Up from Wingatu, there's a meeting going on down in your territory, Claire Anderton. Just tell us how's the Precious One travelled?
Yeah, she's travelled up really well, and I'm really happy with her.
Okay, today you're pitting her into pretty good company in the north. What are you expecting?
Yeah, it's a strong field, but she's gone some really nice races down south, and she's run the time that she needs to run to come here. So obviously we've drawn a wide draw, and we need a bit of luck from there. But if we can overcome that, it'll be nice if we can run in the first 5.
Yeah, where do you expect her to posse up from out there?
Yeah, listen, we've just left that to Rosie. There's a fair bit of pace in the race, so if they can spread out a wee bit and we can get in midfield or just slightly handier, we'll be happy.
Is it a one race raid, or are you here for something else as well?
Yeah, we'll just see how she goes today.
Okay, best of luck with this too.
Thank you.
Claire Anderton up from Dunedin. Let's get out to you, Emily Bosson.
Thanks for that, Aidan. Really good to have the Southern visitor here as well, isn't it? A couple that caught my eye. They're a really good-looking bunch of horses, I must say, and typical of the sprinters. They've got sort of compact body fillies with really big, powerful back ends, and the classic example of this is Ferrando. He is a fantastic looking animal, and he's finished off so nicely the older that he's got. The number 1 horse in this, as well as Volks Lightning, they're always real head turners for me. Princess Kiruru, she's not a whole lot to look at. She's quite a plain type of horse, but super professional and looks focused for today. George, we'll get up to you and hear your thoughts on this next one.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. I went with the 2, Ferrando, but I'm warming to Princess Kiruru just how this race is going to map out for her. She'll get the run of the race. 1 Santa Monica in the mix as well with the 9 Spring Heat as we're almost set to go for the race prior to our big one for the day. And this, the Waikato Stud Plate. Now the last 2 to load away, Jar Jar Binks and Ronki. Darren Dennis aboard Jar Jar Binks. Michael McNabb not riding today. In goes Ronki. So Jar Jar Binks to complete the line. The Waikato Stud Plate at Group 3 level, 1,200 metres, locked and loaded, set. Gates open, they're off. Recanto won the race for the lead. Going forward though, Ferrando and Volks Lightning, followed out by Santa Monica. Princess Kiruru's next over on the inside from Ronki, and then out a bit deeper on the track. Next was Basu Basu. 2 lengths away, William Wallace, Ricky Tiki Tavi, Living on a Prayer, Spring Heat. Then the Precious One back third last from Hassa Halo, and Jar Jar Binks is last. 800 metres to go. Ferrando leads a half length on the outside of it. Next is Recanto. 2 lengths away, Volks Lightning, and then followed by Santa Monica. Princess Kiruru is 3 back on the rail in 5th spot. Then came Basu Basu, followed by Ronki, William Wallace, Ricky Tiki Tavi, Living on a Prayer. Spring Heat's well back in the field here with the Precious One, Hassa Halo, and last as they make the corner is Jar Jar Binks. Homeward bound, 400 metres to go. Ferrando the leader from Recanto. Out wider is Santa Monica. Princess Kiruru in behind them, needs space. Looking to come through now, Princess Kiruru. Out wide, Ronki at the 150. Princess Kiruru. Ronki's running on. Santa Monica's still there. It's Princess Kiruru, Santa Monica. They're running at them late as Ronki. Princess Kiruru just in front, go to the post. Gee, I think she just got there. I think Princess Kiruru, Ronki's had a good old lunge right on the line to make it close though. Right with them also Santa Monica and Volks Lightning. Then a line up Ricky Tiki Tavi. Ferrando was there with Basu Basu. Spring Heat. William Wallace wasn't that far off them, Living on a Prayer. Then followed further back in the field by the Precious One, Recanto, Hassa Halo and Jar Jar Binks. Ooh, it's close, but she'll get there. Number 10, Princess Kiruru, Cameron Lammis. Got the beautiful run as anticipated. 3 back on the rail, came through. Santa Monica, and then Ronki looking to spoil the party on the outsides, lunged at her late. Princess Kiruru just in front. Ronki, Santa Monica brave as always as they go to the post, and she'll get there. Princess Kiruru from Ronki, Santa Monica, and then we've got I think Volks Lightning just possibly ahead of Ricky Tiki Tavi. And there's a huge lineup in behind those. Very competitive race. The Waikato Stud Plate. It'll go to 10, Princess Kiruru, for Ken and Bev Caso and Mark Donoghue and Cameron Lammis.
She had the great run in the race, didn't she? She was gifted with barrier number 1 during the week. She was able to take that spot behind them. And Cameron Lammis, he was able to pierce between runners. Santa Monica bold, and then Ronki late, leaping out of the ground, just goes under. Let's hand it over to you, Emily Bosson.
Thanks, Brendan. Cameron just had to ask me if he'd got the win. It was pretty tight, wasn't it? But, gee, she's a little fighter, isn't she?
Oh, she's tough to come. The most genuine horse you can ride, really.
And she hasn't even turned her hair. You'd barely know she had a race.
Oh, she's pretty quiet. She's a lovely ride. She gives everything in her races. Like, she's a bit tired now, but I guess I didn't get beat nose today.
Absolutely. Things mapped out pretty much as anticipated from the good draw. Talk me through how the last bit unfolded.
Oh, exactly. Normally she begins very fair, but today she jumped in, got the 3 back on the fence. Gaps opened up. I went for a tight gap in between Trudy, but she's tough. She puts the ears back and gives you everything.
Well done. I know it was a good, special one for you, so great to get the win.
Oh, exactly. Thanks.
Yeah, he's right with that, Cameron Lammis, and as he should be. He's given this a beautiful steers, but she's just such a great mare, isn't she, Ken?
Oh, she's just a little trooper. I mean, her form's been great all year. She really deserved that because she hasn't had a lot of luck in big races at times. And, it's just so important to get that mater back type to go with that Group 1 placing. And, she's just the most adorable little horse you'd ever come across. She's just fabulous.
She had to be good to quicken the way she did, but that's what we've come to expect of her in recent starts, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the way to ride her. She's got to be held up and come with that final late sprint. And, I was a bit worried there. I thought Ronke might have got us. But, I'm very pleased for the owners and the staff at home, and who did a great job, and everyone involved. It's just a fabulous result.
Tell us just about how she came into the stable.
Oh, I got rung by the owners. She was bred from Tiranga Stud. She's nicely bred, actually, on the dam side, and the owner sent her to us as a I can say this, a scrawny little yearling. She wasn't, but she's really developed as she's gone through, and she's now a nice mare. So puts a lot of value on her as a brood mare, and they're keen to race her again next year too. So I think she's only strengthening up all the time, and she can only get better.
Exactly. Yeah, a Group 3 win now, like you say, that makes her more valuable. How do you enhance that now?
Well, win a Group 1, obviously. It's a Group 1 place in the railway, so if we can win a Group 1, it'll even be a bigger result. But
have you identified one?
No, it might have to be next season now. I don't think there's many left at this time.
Okay, what's left in this preparation, Ken?
I don't really know, really. I have to go home and have a look at it and see, but there's a lightning at Wellington, but that's handicap, and she's going to get a lot of weight now too, so that'll dictate where we go. So I don't really know. We'll just play it by ear and see how she pulls up and set a plan. She might even go 1400 somewhere, It's always thought she might get 1400, but, time will tell.
As you say, well deserved. Good on you, Ken.
Thank you very much.
Ken Kelso. We might just wander over here as well and just catch Alan Peard, because the second horse, Alan, we'll just come and grab you if you can. Second horse has gone massive. Actually, we'll get Jake first. You went close to picking up the winner.
Yeah, look, he's probably the horse who was going the field, probably overlooked at odds. Alan said to me, just ignore his form. He's right up to these horses, if not even better. So he said if he's up to his game, he's going to give us a show, and that he did. He only got beaten by the barest margins and by a smart filly too. So hopefully on the upside for this horse.
Good on you, Jake.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay, if you want to catch the coverage of Randwick, you can catch that on Trackside 1. If you want to stay with us here on the YouTube channel, you can catch all the extended coverage. Let's move over and grab Alan Peard, and Alan Ronke, he's come within a whisker of winning that. Did you think that you might have been able to pick them up?
Yeah, we were close. We thought we almost got him on the line, but he's been an enigma all season. He's been up and down. The teams were really hard to get him back, and he put in today, and he proved to everybody that on his day he can compete with some of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you do with him from here?
Listen, we just want to get through today first. We haven't thought much about it. We scratched him 2 weeks ago to freshen up, keep him fresh for today. So we'll get home, see how he pulls up and make a plan. But wherever he goes, we'll be making sure he's running the same race.
Yeah, it's good to see him back in that type of form, because we know what he's capable of, right?
Definitely. We made a couple of mistakes in the spring. We backed him up. He got a virus, he got ringworm, and we were always on the back foot with him. So we took the time out, changed things around, and we knew today that we were probably 98% close to where we should be, and he showed that today.
Good on you, Alan. Well done. Okay, we might just see this bloke who's sitting on your shoulder over his fence. Stuart Hope, we're live on the YouTube channel, just Trackside. Santa Monica, she's done you awfully proud yet again.
We are very proud of her and Monaco. They've both been incredibly honest. And to be fair, that was her last run this preparation. She'll go out now for the winter. She's come from a rate of 65 all the way to into the hundreds now. Yeah. That was another honest run today. We'll tell you what, it's interesting, isn't it, that Princess Cararoo, Santa Monica, the two railway winners battling it out here again. What a great day.
Yeah, unfortunately, this time she had to carry 3 kilograms more because she'd won that railway.
Yes, and she's been penalised. Her last 2 runs, handicapped, she's been carrying 60 kilos. She's not a big girl, so she's been under the cosh, but listen, we're proud as hell of her. Absolutely.
What do you do with her next season?
That's a very good question. I think we've got to be more selective of what we run her in. We've got to have a really good study over the winter of where we run her, how we run her. Don't want to see her carrying 60 kilo again. That's just not fair on her. So we'll be looking for those weight for age races, set weights and penalties. She'll go 14, we believe. So we need to get her out over 14. Her brother Monaco will go even further. So we got a good season for next season. He's still got a few runs left in him yet. So we're looking forward to the autumn running for him. And look forward to next season. It'll be a great season.
I think there's a winter full of sort of DVD watching or whatever, and that'll keep you guys pretty happy.
I tell you what, there'll be some study going on over the winter, that's for sure. And not just that, we're really excited. Their dam is in Folder Thunder Down Under, and he's the same breeding as Purring Canto. We're really excited to see what we get in August. We're expecting an August foal. Yeah, good times ahead. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, congrats on a great preparation.
Thank you very much, and it's been a good season for it.
Yeah, good stuff. Back with you guys. Obviously, the running of a terrific Waikato Stud Plate, and hopefully a bit of an update on some of those beaten connections for you.
Nice work, Aidan. Yes, and you had some interesting comments there, and we heard from Ken Kelso regarding Princess Kidadu that, you know, there's not a lot of other options left for them, and same for Santa Monica, where they'll potentially tip her out, where she's had a terrific season. And what about Ronki? Because he's been the most frustrating horse in the country, hasn't he? And he's showing his best there to nearly peel it off.
He's been enigmatic, to say the least, really. We've been on him at times when he's put up massive performances, and then he's just out of form and letting it down. He can miss away at times. He can do it all, but we've always known that the ability's there, but you just can't go in and back him, can you? Because you just don't know what chocolate you're picking out of the box. It can be outstanding, it can be terrible, okay, but he was good today. He really did flatten out and try hard, and he was held up for the right run. Maybe that's the key to him. One crack.
Well, you've got to give credit to the horse. Another stride, he gets up and wins the Group 3. Look, I think punters would have been fuming if he had got up. He was the rank outsider, $51, off a short of $41. Princess Kidadu, she deserved that. She won an open handicap in December, bridesmaid in the railway, and comes out and wins the listed event today, and a second order by pins to take out a stakes race today at Ellerslie.
Yeah, and I think it's great for the page, isn't it, to grab that Group 1 placing and now to get that Group 3 win next to her name, and Princess Kidadu taking the race out. Okay, we're going to have a look at it here first of all, boys, from the Stipes angle. And as we all knew, Ferrando was going to be the horse who was going to press forward. You had the stablemate and Volks Lightning find the rail, and then Ferrando rolls forward, and then Recanto comes away from the inside and comes up alongside Ferrando and finds that position outside leader.
Well, I think he got there as soft as we probably expected before the race, and I think Stephen's probably correct in the fact that he maybe just doesn't go quite that well this way of going. Volks Lightning in behind Ferrando there. It was a good bit of riding to get off and back on the inside. Oh, that's Volks Lightning. Sorry, Recanto outside lead, and look, she's got the soft sit. So is Santa Monica. So they had a couple of great runs in the race. Bazoo was caught 3 wide the trip, so you'd expect it to fall out of a pressure race like this. Back markers, Spring Heat. She got back. She's going to get to the outside. You've got Jar Jar Binks, the chosen one. Didn't handle this way of going at all. Has a halo's back. William Wallace is making ground at the inside. She got the run, as did Santa Monica, and I think the two best runs in the race. Run 1 and 2, and then 1 and 3, and then Ronki's, he had to come across heels. He's probably a little bit unlucky not to win the race, but yeah, as it was mentioned, the first and third horses home with the first and second horses home in the railway, so they'll right up to their wraps.
Yep, Volks Lightning not too far off them there, finishing into 4th position. You had Ricky Tiki Tavi, who was there as well. Probably a race again I need to watch to look at some of those back markers just to see where Spring Heat's finished as well.
She's been okay. She's hit the line okay, but I don't think you can make up
it's just a
12, 14 lengths on these very good sprinting horses when they're running time. It's very, very difficult.
Hence why she was so cold in the market, wasn't she? I mean, she drew bad, she was going to get back, and we never really saw the money come for her in the end, did we?
No BP, but they weren't far off the punters. Yes, Ferrando, they left it in the bin there, started at $3 off a peak of $6. But Princess Kidadu, who we know won the race, opened at $5 and was backed in at $3.80. So they weren't far off, and there was also a $5,000 bet on Santa Monica late. So again, punters almost on the money.
All right, so yeah, Princess Kidadu closed off at $371.60, Ronki at $10.40, $2.70 around Santa Monica. Quinellas paid $96.60, Trifecta $911.40, $14,657 for the first 4, while the doubles paid $40.70 and the concession at $135.10. All right, so that's a look at the result from race number 8. Right, let's move on now to the Vodafone New Zealand Derby for you and have a look at a market. $4 favourite for the race is Surely Sacred. He's rated around $3.40 with bookmakers. Vernon Me at $7.80. We've seen solid support for him. Also In a Twinkling. They are the runners that ran first, second and third in the Vodafone New Zealand Derby, and they're the ones that hold sway in this market at the moment. And then there's been some nibbles around some other runners, and then of course at the bottom of the book you've got Platinum Invader. So first of all, Stephen, we'll go to runner number 1 in the book, and Shirley Sacred, who's been, as we said, back from that 380 mark.
Open 3.8, which I touched on many a times during the week on Wednesday. Got as short as $3.50 on Friday. He's been trading at $3.40 right throughout race day. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he touched $3 late in the piece. He's attracted around about 35% of total turnover, which you flip the coin, a 35% chance of winning, around about $3. So unless we see a change of tide and maybe specky against it, I think that $3 will come in very shortly. So if you do like Shirley Sacred, I suggest you get on the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay, all right. We'll leave it there for the Vodafone Derby just for the moment. And of course, one jockey who's got a great chance of winning the race again is Jason Waddell. He takes the ride aboard Vernon Mee, who finished third in the Avondale Guineas 2 weeks ago, and the team caught up with Jason to go through blow by blow with just how that race panned out from 12 months ago when he won by barest of margins, beating home Mongolian Conqueror. Of course, he was aboard Vinda Dance.
It's definitely the race of the season for every jockey and trainer, I believe. It's really exciting. You know, it's a fantastic race to ride in because it's not over within a minute 10. You know, you got a couple of minutes out there, and there's so much that can change and things can happen. So it's an exciting race, and coming down the straight the first time, just trying to find that spot and get your horse settled.
We're set to go in the racing in the New Zealand Derby.
We broke from a real sticky barrier in barrier 13, and surprised me a little bit how forward Danielle went on Mission Hill here. I didn't have her mapped that far forward, but we're a bit wide here coming to about the 300 metre mark, and I'm just trying to have a look inside me to see what's there, where's my opportunity to get it close to a one-off position, and sort of just followed Mission Hill forward. We come to the winning post here, and I'm still parked out 3 deep, but sort of can see a little bit of an opportunity to try and get dance to the fence here, and we were able to just manoeuvre our way in, and sort of coming up to the rise before the crossing, we sort of slotted into the 1x1. Sam Collett on Richard Collett's horse lobbed to the fence, and we're in a good spot here 1x1, but then the pace started to come out of the race, and Vim was chewing on me. He was chewing on the bridle quite hard, so Adrian Bull's horse come around us 3 deep here, and when she went, I just decided that I knew I was on the best stayer, so I wanted to make it a staying test. So when she went around, I did something that I probably would never do, and we pulled out of my position, and we let him stride around, and I was going to take the lead on. We're doing a little bit of work up the rise, which is sort of suicidal, but I just had faith in my horse and trusted my judgment that the speed wasn't so quick. So here we went around and we sat outside the leader, and Jonathan Riddell kicked back up on Irish Flame, and Vin just dropped the bit here, and we just cruised, and things were going really well. I was happy where I was just lobbing, and then all of a sudden I just felt 2 horses just come from nowhere. I don't know where they come from until I'd seen the replay, and probably what won me the race here was not panicking and still giving my horse a good breather. I was able just to keep a nice momentum. I had cover the whole race. And yeah, we're coming into the straight here, and I was pretty confident. You know, Jonathan he'd dropped off and wobbled out and presented me with the gap. And I just got to here, and we'd sort of worn off Endowment on the inside. Mission Hill, I seen him coming, but he'd peaked, and then Mongolian Conqueror come out of the pack.
Vinda Dance, Mongolian Conqueror, Vinda Dance kicks on the inside.
Right at the red marker, the 100 metre mark, he went past me, and then Vin, well, he kicked back into gear. Still quite emotional thinking about it now. It was a tough day, me and my mate Michael, so yeah, to battle it out under those circumstances. I had no idea who had won the race. Grabbed Michael, patted him on the back, and yeah, we carried on, and I went all the way up the Ellerslie hill till I could pull him up, and a couple of people on the verandas there, I yelled out to them who got it, and they said I did, you know, so it was a real bittersweet moment. If any race I could have handled a dead heat, it probably could have been that race, you know. Me and Michael have gone through some hardship. It's still quite emotional to talk about, it's still quite new and fresh, but you know, we'd lost our mums, and yeah, I could have done with a dead heat that day, but fortunately for me, Vin put his nose down, and you know, we got the job done. Definitely my biggest moment in racing, and a day I'll never forget.
Yeah, it certainly meant a lot to Jason Waddell, didn't it, with that victory and aboard Vin de Dance. What was a desperately close finish to beat his best mate Michael McNabb with Mongolian Conquer. And speaking to Jason, probably post the Avondale Guineas, Bevan, he's just spoken the praises of Vernon Mee. That look at that, he's so happy to be on the horse. It's a horse that's got the breeding to go out the 2,400 metres. They had that little hiccup coming into the Avondale Guineas. He's been spot on since then. So look, the camp are very happy with Vernon Mee.
Yeah, he's a massive chance in the race. When you go back and watch that ride in last year's Derby, it's an incredible ride. He jumped out, he's tracked, and then he's somehow managed to get the 1x1. But to make that move down the back takes a bit of gumption, because you can come in and there'll be some pretty unhappy connections if that goes wrong. But even the fact when he got a couple of challenges coming around that he managed just to sit and not panic at that point, top class effort, and it'll take a top class effort on Vernon Mee. The form line is very, very strong. We all know about the issues last time, and to put up a run like that suggests this horse has got not just ability physically, but in the mind, because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and to go out and run like that, I thought suggested he's pretty tough, and a tough horse wins the Derby.
Absolutely, and on his ride in the next 30 minutes, Vernon Mee opened second favourite at $5.50. He's gone out one full point to $6.50. Now, I mentioned this earlier in the week in the preview show that In a Twinkly could start second favourite, and he's really contesting that second line of betting. So I wouldn't be surprised if Vernon Mee starts in that third line.
Right, Emily Bosson, you're with Vernon Mee right now.
I sure am, and it's amazing to see all the care and attention to detail that goes into getting these horses ready for a big race. You can see them getting their gear on, the saddle being applied correctly, and it is a race that owners, trainers, jockeys, they build up for all year. You've got one chance of being a 3-year-old, one chance to run in a Derby, and this is it here today in New Zealand. So always throughout the day, the tension builds for the strappers, for everybody involved, and it's such an exciting time, and who knows who's going to win. We will wait and see. There's some fantastic looking horses, and it's a credit to everybody involved how they're turned out.
All right, nice one. Thank you for that, Emily. And yes, we'll get your opinion on that very shortly, just how the horses parade and when they get round to the start as well. All right, Aidan Rodley, you're in amongst the owners. They've got their chance for glory. It's a race that I'm sure a number of people would love to have a chance to be able to try and win a Derby. What's the feeling down there?
There's a real buzz out here as well. Of course, a lot of them have just had a bit of a presentation. There's been the special leads that have been handed out. Let's wander down, see who we can't find around here, and see if we can't knock into someone. Obviously, they're here enjoying those pre-race drinks. The nerves are there, no doubt. They're getting a little bit of the canopies and the New Zealand Derby. We'll just keep on wandering. We'll see if we can't wander through the middle here. We'll keep on through. And first of all, we'll come to this bloke here, Kevin Hickman. We got you live on trackside, Kevin. Obviously, you've done all this all before with Silent Achiever and won a Derby. What are you thinking for today?
Well, I think it's going to be a lovely race. The weather's perfect. The track appears to be performing well. It's going to be lovely to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So Vernon Mee, he's been one of those horses who's been bubbling under the surface. His Avondale run was very good. What did you make of it?
Well, we tried. Stephen was preparing a plan for him, but just a little, like they often do, doesn't quite work, and you've got to catch up again on that. So, but I think he's got him exactly where he should be.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Okay, you know what that thril's like to win one of these things. Yep. Can you relive it today?
Can I relive it? I'll try and do some dancing with Vern.
That's the way. Wouldn't it mean something to Vern? You know, he's been a man who's been in his career throughout in this racing industry. For him to be winning one of these, of course, I think he sort of bred one or two, hasn't he?
He has indeed. Yeah. Yes, and it's actually one of his leads that let me into with him, and we've worked together. You know, so it's worked very well for us.
Okay, well, best of luck. Let's hopefully you can get another Derby win.
Yeah, never know.
Okay, so Kevin Hickman there. We'll wander over here as well. Let's wander through. Here's a former All Black who's got a runner as well. And so Mark Carter, who's one of the most popular men at Ellerslie as always, Mark. Just tell us, Bobby D's run in the Avondale Guineas was first class. What are you thinking for today?
Well, we got a bad barrier draw, but I'm very hopeful. I think he'll definitely see out the 2-4.
Yeah.
So we actually got a little bit of confidence.
Okay. Remember, Dad, Zed was a Derby favourite at one point, never quite got here, but what's that like, having, stood this sire now and having one of his progeny in a Derby?
Oh, it's very exciting, of course. To breed and race a Group 1 winner, I mean, it's probably couldn't ask for much more, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So, a dream come true almost.
Yeah, and I guess to share it with these mates who do like to have a few beers and make a bit of noise, that must be the fun part.
Well, that's exactly right. Horse racing, it's either, first class or, when you lose, it's quite depressing, but these days make it all very special.
Okay, we saw Very Elegant come out of the Australian Guineas. What's the go with her?
Elevated temperature, basically. She was a huge chance today. So I was actually playing golf when I found out, and I shot 48 in the first night after that, so very concerning it was.
Best of luck for the Derby, and let's hope you can taste success.
Cheers.
Okay.
Nice work there, Aidan, and they had a decent run with their filly too, in Oratea, didn't they, in the Sunline Vase as well. So yeah, they're big players, that is for sure, and a little bit of confidence here from Mark Carter around Bobby D running a race, because we talk about the Avondale Guineas form so much. Of course, this horse did exempt for the ballot by finishing 4th in that race.
Yeah, look, a horse by Zed will get 2,400 metres. I think we know that for sure. And Zed is versatile. He's not just a wet tracker. He's one of the few stallions you can put your ring around and say, we'll be okay in the wet track conditions. But he also has produced a fair amount of horses that are okay on top of the ground. And I think this is one. The trip's no worry. It's just exactly where it gets to in the run.
Okay, let's go through some of these runners now as we see them parading behind us. And we will start at the top of the book. Of course, that is the favourite. And Surely Sacred. Here he is in picture shot. He's a son of Rock and Pop. He's won 2 Guineas races here at this venue. The first of them was the Auckland Guineas, where he really did announce himself as a top quality 3-year-old. And then he came out and won the Avondale Guineas, the most important lead up towards the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. He is a favourite for Tony Pike and Vinnie Colgan.
Just can't find a reason to see him not running in the first couple. From his draw, with his form, he certainly deserves to be favourite in the race.
Open $3.80, now trading at $3.40. That has been his price right throughout race day, Surely Sacred. He will start the best back run in the Group 1 Derby for 2019. There's been 12 four-figure bets on this individual, the biggest being 3K at $3.60.
Move on to number 3 of the race book now, and it's In a Twinkling. This one for Tiako and Jamie Richards. Glenn Boss is in town to take the ride aboard this horse. Tremendous effort to run as well as he did in the Avondale Guineas. He was at outside odds. He had to make a couple of runs in the race. He drew out. It was a big run from him. He is well favoured in the market.
Well, I thought he was as good as Surely Sacred in that particular race, having to work a couple of times in the run, and to keep on kicking back to Surely Sacred. I thought that says he runs the Derby trip. So I'm price driven on this one. I love the chances of Surely Sacred, but the price on In a Twinkling leads me to play the 3 on top in the race.
Opened $8.50 in that third line of betting when betting commenced on Wednesday. Got a short of $7.50 this morning. We've accepted a $5,000 bet at $7.50. He is now the second favourite behind Surely Sacred at $6.50.
Move on to number 4 now in Bobby D. Trained by Baker Forsman and Jonathan Riddell. Look, he was trapped 3 wide throughout the most of that trip and still ran 4th in the Avondale Guineas.
Yeah, the breeding says he'll run 2,400 metres. Again, awkward gate. Johnny Riddell picks up the saddle here this afternoon. Good strong rider. Should really get him into the race at some point, and he'll stay all day.
Number 2's Vernon Mee. He ran 3rd in the Avondale Guineas. Of course, he was second equal in the Levin Classic as well through this preparation. He has the breed to be able to go through the distance of 2,400 metres, of course, with relatives in Shamrocker and Rock Diva as well. He's third line of betting.
Well, he's got all the form to push. Madison County is exceptional. Form in this country as a 3-year-old. Stepped up to the 2,100 metres. That run under his belt should hold him in great form. Look, the 1, 2, the 3, they're hard to sort of steer away from in your first 4 selections.
Open $5.50, second favourite on Wednesday. Was holding that line 10 minutes ago, but he now sits in that third line of betting. He'll be running for us in Petone.
Move on now to runner number 5 in Sir Nate. He grabbed a Group 1 placing in the 2,000 Guineas at the this horse when finishing into 3rd position. He ran 6th in the Avondale Guineas, where he was beaten around 5 lengths. Lisa Ladder, Rosie Myers.
Look, I didn't think he had all favours last start behind Surely Sacred in that run. He got a couple of checks that sort of took his momentum away from him, and he didn't really get clear running. He may have needed a share of rain. It hasn't come here this afternoon. If you return to his Guineas form, then he'd be in the first half of the field.
Move on to number 6 in the race. It's More Wonder. Well, he's possibly one of the most interesting runners in the race with what he's tackled this season with not a lot of luck. And last Saturday he ran over 1,600 metres against the older horses Wait for Age and ran 4th behind Melody Bell.
Inability lines up on a par with the 1, 2 and the 3. And the Manners Bank, he is right at the back of the line. And that's the again with him. It's all the ability. It's just whether he does everything right today.
$21 on opening, got a short, sorry, $21 opening in futures. Got as short as $12 in final field, now out to $18 More Wonder.
Here's number 7, SpongeBob. They've paid the $30,000 late entry fee into the race after he won the Waikato Guineas.
It was an interesting run, the Waikato Guineas. It was a bit of a heat stretch. I went home and reviewed it, but look, the horse stayed. And I think this also surprised the trainers as well, that he's just kept on stepping up to the mark. But he was tough at Te Rapa, so he deserves a spot for sure.
Ran good figures when winning the Waikato Guineas. SpongeBob opened at 18, got as short as 16. We accepted a $2,000 bet at 16. He's gone back out to the opening line at 18.
Number 8's the chosen one. He did go through the Waikato Guineas and also the Avondale Guineas when finishing into 4th and 7th position. Well, this horse here is leading the Derby field out, and it's Ginger Nuts. And, well, what an incredible horse to be able to just spend what we saw him up to the 4-year-old campaign. And his win in the Avondale Guineas was something of, wow, what have we just produced here and what have we seen? He wasn't nominated for the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. He was then nominated, then he came out, and in the famous line, he dunked them in the Derby to Ginger Nuts. He leads the field out for the 2019 edition, does Ginger Nuts. Let's look at some more horses. Now, let's move on to number 9 and Cut a Deal. He's at 17s and 550. Many were trying to jump into him as their Derby winner 2 weeks ago before the Avondale Guineas. Things went awry in the Avondale Guineas, and his price is now where we expect, really, off the back of what we saw here 2 weeks ago.
Yep, I'm just forgiving the horse one run because the prior 3 runs had stamped him as a horse of good quality. He's by the right side. He's going to be a boom champion side done deal, and gee, the price of the progeny will go up pretty sharp if he's to win.
Punter's not that forgiving, Swings. He opened at 16, so he's traded out to 18. He is friendless.
You see Crown Prosecutor there. He's not too keen to be able to get down to the start at the moment. He's got the blinkers on this afternoon. Visor blinkers coming off. Craig Grill's doing the riding on that horse at $75 at the moment. Okay, to you, Aidan, with Gavin Parker.
Yep, grabbed Gavin, who trains in partnership with Graham Richardson and SpongeBob. The win in the Waikato Guineas was terrific. It's prompted you to make the late entry payment, or the owners at least. What's he done in the interim?
Oh, you know, we've just ticked him over since then. He came up here on Monday to have a good look around and went really well by all accounts. You know, I mean, his win in I know the Waikato Guineas field probably wasn't a strong field, but his win was dominant, you know. So, you know, we're quite happy to come here today and have a good crack.
One thing he was able to do that day was take up a nice position in running. Will you look to press forward here today?
Oh, for sure. We'll be positive on the horse, you know, and as we've seen in earlier races, you know, the fence is still good. So, you know, hopefully he can just find a slot on the fence and just sneak through and try and steal it.
The step up to 2,400 metres, what's the stable feeling?
Oh, look, I had a look at his pedigree. You know, he's quite stoutly bred once you get back a few generations. So not a problem really. And he's a nice, relaxed horse, and yeah.
So how does he measure up? What's the gut feeling?
He'll go a good race. He'll be riding it.
Okay, best of luck.
Thanks, Aidan.
Gavin Parker talking about SpongeBob. $13.50 on the tote around him at the moment is number 7 SpongeBob. $18 with bookmakers. Nobu running number 10. This horse has gathered momentum in the market. He ran a very good race into 4th position in a rating 65. Pat Cosgrave's in town. Well, he's a quality jock as well, so he's moving in the market, Bevan.
I loved his run, and he was the one outside the top 3 that I came to back.
You won't miss him, the Flashing Grey. Opened at $23, as high as 18 this morning, $12 now. We saw this in a similar vein, Long Leaf in the Karaka Million 3-year-old, where the late money comes for the Australian Raider. $12. He's one of our biggest liabilities in final field betting.
Getting close to start time. Apologies for talking over the national anthem as we continue on with our preview into the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. There's the 11 in Botti, who disappointed here 2 weeks ago. Pick-up ride for Trudy Thornton. Want to move on to number 16 in the book, guys, and pre-defer. 13s and $3.90. Opie Boston has gone for this horse over the stablemate in a twinkling, and off the back of his run here in the Avondale Guineas, look, he was good in finishing into 5th position. He's a chance in the race.
Absolutely, and you just have to respect the thoughts of Opie. He's obviously been a fan of this horse for a long period of time, and that's pretty much good enough for me.
Open 14 was a losing result coming into Saturday. That money has dried up, but I don't want to put punters off. Very solid at 14s.
Platinum Invader, Bevan. Look, the horse was so unlucky in the Avondale Guineas. Could have finished a lot closer, potentially third or fourth, which would have been enough to get into the race and not go to Otaki. Went there, did the business. Can the horse back it up again? 3 weeks, 3 runs in 3 weeks.
Oh, they'll know he's there. Look, he's on the right plane, this horse. He was very good and unlucky here, and he was so soft at Otaki. He deserved his place, and I think he's a player. Look, Lisa Letta's done a wonderful job to get 3 runners in the particular race, so best of luck to Lisa. Look, their other horse, Lincoln Falls, he's got all the ability, he just hasn't copped a draw for a period of time, and whether he stays is a possible question mark on him. Look, Platinum Invader from the ladder team is the one that I'm leaning towards.
$8.50 on opening, reflecting on it, maybe a touch short, knowing the fact that we're losing 6 figures on Platinum Invader in all up betting. Drifted quite a margin here, Platinum Invader, out to $13.
Number 17, Arrogance, a horse who was placed in the Waikato Guineas behind SpongeBob. You've got the likes of Swords Drawn, who has been unable to win a race, but has been twice stakes place this season, running number 15 for Sean Ritchie and Sam Collett. Right, one final last look at the market here. Stephen Hunt, Shirley Sacred, quote of $3.20 in a twinkling, solid at $5.50 and $8.50 for Vernon Me.
Yeah, we saw this coming in a twinkling now. Clear second favourite at $5.50. Could have got as high as $7.50 30 minutes ago. And Surely Sacred, it's really targeting that $3 line. He will be the best back runner in the Derby 2019.
Just quickly to you, Emily Bosson.
Yeah, there's just a whole host of fantastic looking horses here, Brendan. A horse, I know Opie's riding it, but it's my first chance to see Prix de Feu, and he might be a little bit lightly framed, but gee, he looks like a real genuine stayer. Outside of that, Vernon Me paraded beautifully, as did the favourite, the number 1. Fantastic looking animal. Crown Prosecutor has got very, very worked up in the back parade ring, worked up going onto the track, and even still down here at the start. And my rough pick from the show on Thursday, Bobby D, looks a picture as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Emily. The countdown is almost over as horses are filing away into the barriers for the Vodafone New Zealand Derby for 2019. The favourite is Shirley Sacred, who won the Avondale Guineas 2 weeks ago. Is at a quote of $3.20 with $5.50 ran in a twinkling and $8.50 for third line of betting for Vernon Me. We're close to start time. We'll pass it up to our caller here at Ellerslie and George Simon.
Thank you, Brendan, as they continue to load away for the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. Much anticipated event, the Blue Riband event for the 3-year-olds every year. And great to see Ginger Nuts lead the field out for this year's edition.
Sitting right down there. Take it out, please, mate.
Now, one of them's been backed out of the stalls here, just listening into our microphones right at the start. Trevor Harrison suggesting to take it out of the stalls. I just obviously can't quite see from my vantage point here. Well, they're starting to take shape. Priest de Fer still in behind the gates. Nobu to come up. Surely Sacred is in. The last one about to go up. Good luck to all the connections. Field for the Vodafone New Zealand Derby 2019. We're set to go. This is it. Let's bring it on. They're racing in the Derby. One of the first away, cut a deal towards the outside. Going forward is Surely Sacred closer in. Right with them as well as they work over towards the by the 300 metres on their first occasion. Out wide on the track, Bobby D. Going with them also Arrogant. Swords Drawn is right there and closer in Crown Prosecutor. Over on the inside of these, next is Sir Nate as they jockey for positions down by the 150 metres on their first occasion. SpongeBob is just in behind the leaders and pushing forward out wide. Lincoln Falls 4 wide as they go past the judge. The Chosen One is right there with Bobby D. Getting back midfield on the inside, Tolmac as they work up the rise. Looking to get across, although caught out 3 wide, Priest de Fer. In the centre is Surely Sacred and Vernon Me over on the inside. Then out 3 wide with cover is in a twinkling, followed back in the field by Nobu, who's back about 4th or 5th last. Then Cut a Deal. Back with it also Platinum Invader, and the last pair are More Wonder and Botti. Into the back they go, 1,400 metres out from home. Spread out over a good dozen lengths here, and the pacemaker is Lincoln Falls. Leads by 1.5. In second spot, Bobby D, 2 lengths away. Arrogant is third, and then Crown Prosecutor fourth, followed by Swords Drawn. Then came Priest of Fur over on the outside next of Sir Nate. As they climb the rise by the 1100, Tolmac is next from the Chosen One. Back in behind those next, then looking to go forward in a twinkling, follows a stablemate forward at the 1,000 metres. Then came Vernon Me, out wide Botty in that group also. Now we've got looking to go forward, Surely Sacred, the favourite, got a shuffle up there, went well back. Nobu's well back, Cut a Deal works round on the outside. Back near the tail is More Wonder with Platinum Invader in that rear group as well. As they work down the side, they pack up in the Derby as they head to the 600 metres mark. There's about a dozen lengths from first to last, and the pacemaker is Lincoln Falls from on the outside. Bobby D, Arrogant is right there, then followed in behind these by Crown Prosecutor. Some of them are scouting very wide, including the favourite Surely Sacred. Now Cut a Deal looks to run on as well. 300 metres to go. In a twinkling, ranged up. Surely Sacred down the outside. Crown Prosecutor closer in. Still there is Arrogant as they get to the 150. Crown Prosecutor in a twinkling. Surely Sacred is coming after them, but it's Crown Prosecutor and in a twinkling fighting out the Derby. Crown Prosecutor in a twinkling. Crown Prosecutor. Stephen Marsh gets the Derby. Crown Prosecutor won it second over. Was in a twinkling. Photos for third. Platinum Invader and Arrogant. Right there also Tolmac, Bobby D, Surely Sacred, Swords Drawn. Then followed over by Cut a Deal, Vernon Me, Priest of Fur. Further back in the field then as they went across would have been Sir Nate. With those as well was the Chosen One, Sponge Bob. Well back towards the tail, Lincoln Falls, More Wonder. Botty and Nobu were well back as well. His father did it a few years ago now with Hale. And now Stephen Marsh has trained the winner of the Vodafone New Zealand Derby, and Craig Grills just back from Singapore. And they've combined to win the Derby with the son of the Dagliadoro. Crown Prosecutor in a twinkling, tried hard. Arrogant was there. Platinum Invaders arrived late with Surely Sacred. But at the post, Crown Prosecutor kept giving in the colours of Lib Britannia. In a twinkling was trying hard for Glenn Boss, but at the line, Crown Prosecutor will just beat In a Twinkling. Platinum Invader will be third, and then Arrogant and Surely Sacred.
In an upset in the Vodafone New Zealand Derby, Crown Prosecutor wins for Stephen Marsh and Craig Grills and is posted at a price at $105. Crown Prosecutor holds out the challenge from Glenn Boss and In a Twinkling. And right there as well was Platinum Invader, who was finishing hard late with Arrogant as well. Emily Bosson to you with Craig Grills.
Thanks, Brendan. It's awesome. All the other jockeys are giving you congratulations. What is this feeling like? How are you coping right now?
The emotions are pretty high, Emily. It's like he's won a stakes race before, but his form wasn't the greatest coming into it, so he's been a little bit off the boil. But Stephen and his team have obviously done a great job, and I couldn't believe it.
Talk me through the run. Talk me through what you were thinking as you jumped out and then how things worked out.
Well, he jumped quite good. The plan was to go forward, but he was green down the straight the first time. He tried to duck out about 2 times down the straight, and he was good when he got a bit of cover, and they didn't go overly hard, but turning in, he just travelled up underneath me, and I was able to get off the fence, and he just kept grinding away. So
it must have been a dream when he was travelling and you were thinking, oh my gosh, I have a chance here.
Yeah, well, I sort of couldn't really see anything coming up. I saw the Tiake horse come up outside me, and I thought, hopefully he can fight it on, but he's fought it out to the line. So
a special mention as well, he was putting on a performance pre-race, wasn't he? I was worried you were even going to get to the start.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the easiest going down to the start, but it's all paid off in the long run, so no, absolutely wrapped.
Well done, this is massive, congratulations.
Thanks, Emily, cheers.
Stephen Marsh, you've just won a Vodafone New Zealand Derby. How does that feel?
Oh, look, it feels outstanding. I know he's one of the roughies of the race. We know how hard it is to even have a horse in the Derby. And look, at the end of the day, I don't usually get given sort of colts to train, and we sort of have. And it's the race you want to win. It's the best race on the whole calendar. I'm just wrapped. I'm blown away. It worked out good. Nothing went right for us last start. But, he's a stakes winner going into today. We had him hard, fit, ready, said to Craig, just go forward. He can out-tough them, and look, he rode them perfectly. They went hard, he just sat in behind them, and it was a great win. And yeah, look, I'm buzzing to win a Group 1 run here. I said to Paul Wilcox after the first 2 races, I said, I'm sure you've moved this this bloody winning post. We've beaten short half heads all day, but I think he's got on the right place now.
Exactly. For the people who are involved in this horse, we've got Huntingdon Lodge, of course, and also we've got, I think that's Harvey Green and his wife, and also we've got Liv Patania. Guys who you've trained for that have been good supporters of you. What's it like to do it for them?
Oh, massive supporters. Harvey and Linda, they've been everywhere to follow his progress, and they're here today. They're wrapped. I haven't seen them since the race. I'm picking they're even happier. Bruce lives at home. He'll be no doubt watching. Bruce is over there hopefully buying us some more horses in Melbourne, and look, he'll be wrapped. And it was a race. We had a couple of setbacks. We never took our eye off the Derby, and we're always full ball for it, and we always knew today it was going to be. He's going to be 110% fit and ready, and he's just showed he's a classy colt.
Okay, for those setbacks, I guess they were sort of pace-oriented in the Waikato Guineas, and he was on speed and winning that Wellington Stakes. What did you expectations were you coming with today with him?
Well, look, nothing went right last time we got back, and he actually hit the line quite nicely on an unusual sort of track at his last start. But today we knew we had the right horse, and we just said, look, go forward, make it a staying test. If he can lead, great. But his form had actually been good. If you dissect all his form, it had been actually really good. And I know he is probably, I don't know what he paid, but he's a stakes winner at 3, and he's a classy colt. And it's great, and another horse Bruce Perry's bought. Well, he's a magician. I just hope he buys me another couple in Melbourne.
Absolutely. And what about the family? I know the Marsh family got a proud history. For you and Mum and Dad, what will they be feeling?
Oh, Mum just rang me as soon as I went past the line. They were screaming at home in Singapore, so I'll ring them later. But they'll be as proud as hell, and they're looking forward to getting home.
Okay, I'll let you go and join the photo. Stephen Marsh with success in a derby, and we see there that In a Twinkling has run them oh so close. We might just duck over here and get a quick reaction from the team there, if we can just find a few in behind. Nothing quite there. We might get to you, Brendan, and see what else we can grab from the other connections around runners in the Derby.
Yep, no problem, Aidan. Yep, we'll look to get some more thoughts very shortly from those in behind. 105.40 Crown Prosecutor has closed off on the tote and caused the biggest of boilovers in the New Zealand Derby.
Gee, and he was pretty upset before the race in the back parade ring. He was awkward to get down to the start, and he was upset behind the gates. Didn't matter. Got a nice run. He was travelling nicely in behind them. I thought In a Twinkling had it done and dusted at around about the 200 metre mark, but to this colt's credit, he's fought back and kept on grinding to the line. Platinum Invaders a run. He was a little bit unlucky at about the 200 metre mark when he was denied a run, and he's hit the line really, really nicely as well. He's a lovely horse to be following out of today, but might be 101. You don't have to sort of write a book about it, you just look at the result.
We'll very shortly hear from Glenn Boss. In fact, he's standing by now.
Thanks for that, Brendan. Glenn, you've been oh so close in winning a New Zealand Derby. What sort of ride did you get?
Yeah, listen, he was okay. He was a bit slow out, which he's done in the past, and there was a lot of action going to that first turn, so he settled back probably 2/3 way back through the field. I was 3 wide with cover for most of the race, and then at the sort of half mile I just started to edge forward on him because he's that type of horse. I felt like I had the winner beat basically the whole length of the straight, but it just kept fighting him back and kept pulling out a bit more, so full credit to the winner, it was too good on the day.
Good on you, Glenn. Glenn Boss there, and of course we do have the other connections around there. Jamie Richards has just wandered past us. We might just wander over and grab a quick reaction from the trainer of the runner-up as well. Jamie, your thoughts In a Twinkling? You've been brave.
Yeah.
Not like defeat, of course.
Nah, he tried hard. I thought that, Glenn got him in a nice spot, made his run at the right time. Thought he was going to get him, but to the other horse's credit, he kicked back. So, second again, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, what do you do with him from here?
Just get him home, give him a couple of days. maybe Brisbane. We'll just see.
Okay, and what about Predator First? Seemed to have a run and then just got into all sorts of trouble about the 800 metre mark.
Yeah, just a pretty rough run race. Opie said he just ended up in a spot of bother, but he's 6 months away from an 8, and he'll be a really nice horse with a good spell at Te Akau Stud now.
Okay, good on you. Thanks, Jamie. Jamie Richards giving us the time there. Let's just quickly wander over and grab a thought from the third place horse scooters as well. Grab Neville McAllister. Neville, you've run a hell of a race. Just your reaction initially from that?
Yeah, the horse went super. I mean, Chris obviously went back from the gate like we'd done every other start, and he was giving them a massive head start from the 600, and it'd be interesting to see his last 600 time. I mean, we were wrapped the way the horse went.
Especially for, this third run in the space of 2 weeks. He's really hit the line strongly. He's a horse with a lot of upside, isn't he?
Oh, and the 2 float trips up here on top of the 3 runs, I mean, certainly that made it tough, but the horse seemed to come through it all right, and he was bouncing, so we were happy enough going in.
Can you press on to Australia even, or is that a push too far?
No, at the moment we're certainly umming and ahhing whether we go to Sydney or Queensland. We'll definitely go one or the other, and we're not really sure. The track at Sydney, maybe if he gets too far back, might not suit him, so Eagle Farm might be a better option, but we'll definitely go to one or the other.
On a quick reaction to it, if you'd had a better run, could you have been more in the finish?
Chris certainly thought so. He thought the horse had an awful lot of work to do turning for home. He got a little bit held up halfway down, and I think he said he was still about 8th of the 150 and flying, so yeah, he thought the horse was certainly been up to it.
Yeah, credit to the horse. Well done, and thanks for the time.
Cheers. Thanks, Aidan.
Neville McAllister, guys, we'll see if we can't catch up with the owners of the horse as well, but I know you guys have got plenty to talk about. Just the way this derby's been run.
Well, yeah, I think we need to have a look at the Stipes angle of the race. As Glenn Boss pointed out, Bevan, a lot happened heading into that first bend, wasn't there, coming down the straight?
Well, it was interesting from the jump. The eventual leader, Lincoln Falls, he seemed to sky away and head well out wide, but there was, I think it's Crown Prosecutor, to be honest. He was shying, and that was flushing a few horses who were rolling down towards the inside. So, look, they're all trying to find a posse at this position in the race, and you see him there. He's ducked out, and that's flushed out a couple of horses. And then, look, they're all posted out wide, so they've got a jockey for a position. Jonathan decided to go forward on Lincoln Falls from that really wide gate. I don't think he stayed, to be frank with you, although he did have to work quite hard. Crown Prosecutor's actually going to end up in a pretty good, well, a perfect position really in the run, but still not settled. Look, it's a great win with the act he's put on today, just in his mannerism and how he's actually raced in the run. To come out and win is something to behold. But look, they didn't go overly hard, to my mind. There wasn't a massive amount of tempo in the race. You see, that's Bobby D going forward for the Baker and Forsman team to sit outside the lead. Arrogance there, the eventual winners now in the 1-1. So, look, you got the run, Craig. Eventually caused a bit of stress to the horse in the front straight, but he got into a nice posse post that.
There's a few, obviously, some of the favourites have got themselves in sticky spots as well. Let's touch on those runners. Vernon Me, Surely Sacred. They're near the back of the field after Surely Sacred, seeming to have a position, has ended up back nearly 3rd or 4th last year.
Yeah, he's got the real shuffle up, Surely Sacred, and you see him there. Is that Platinum Invader right at the tail of the field? So inside, he's a massive run. More Wonder. What do you make of More Wonder here this afternoon? He hasn't really finished off. Vernon Me's going to be back there on the inside, second from last, and just in very tight quarters. He never really got any momentum up, and that's been against him. You see Surely Sacred making his run now. But gee, this horse is now settled in that perfect position. Craig has had to do very little on him once he's got to that position, and he's just out and ready to strike. You see Inner Twinkling coming into the action with Glenn just inching forward, and I think at this point, I don't know about you, but I thought Inner Twinkling's home at this point. Yeah. But Crown Prosecutor has got that split now, and you can see him finding. He is finding that horse, and even at that point you're thinking Twinkling's got him. But to his credit, he has fought back. You see Platinum Invader just clearing air there, and he is flying late in the race, and he's a really progressive horse. But even his action late is a little bit unbalanced, Crown Prosecutor. But look, when he was looked at in the eye, he found that little bit extra that is required to win a derby.
Yeah, it's a race I wouldn't mind watching again, and even just looking off that head-on footage, looked like even horses like Tolmac was finishing strongly, and behind them, as you can see, they're in the Paul Jenkins colours. Great to hear that Platinum Invader could be on an Australian path, because off the back of that run and what we've seen from him, he's more than capable of heading there and running some big races. And yeah, as you said, Bevan, Inner Twinkling's gone up to them, and you really did think at this stage that he was going to win the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. Surely Sacred had made such a big run around horses and had sort of got himself there. but then he had to try and carry on with the job. He's battled on down the straight, and then you've got Vernon Mee who's out wide as well, but they sit down to battle, and Crown Prosecutor just didn't want to give up.
Yeah, well, when you reflect back on what In the Twinkling did in the Avondale Guineas after having to work, you think, well, he's just going to keep on rolling over the top of this colt, but he didn't, because the inside horse is found. I know one thing, the man sitting next to me will be reasonably happy.
Very happy swings, and that's probably a little understatement.
Was there anything on this horse futures-wise, or was it?
Geez, not really, BP, to be honest. Opened at $51, final field betting. Finished the second to rank outsider behind Tolmac at 101. There was only one other runner. It wasn't Tolmac, to be honest, but there was one other runner that was a better result for us. So, you know, pretty stoked about that result, because the swing was a big margin in terms of the book and what we took home if In a Twinkling had won.
So the margin's up this month, I'd say.
Yeah, you'd say so. You would say so. Crown Prosecutor winning the race, and of course he won at the stakes level at Otaki, winning the Wellington Stakes and holding out Swords Drawn there.
Yeah, well, on that occasion it was Swords Drawn on his outside, and he just led up, and those two dominated that race at Otaki. It was a race with sentimental miss came out of. She was a little bit unlucky in that particular run, and yeah, of course, Stephen comes from Woodville. Of course, Bruce training out of Woodville for a long period of time. He's up here, and what about Bruce Perry and his ability to find the right horse to win big races? Look, the horses he's bought for Lib and others is unbelievable. He just keeps on getting the job done, and again, Derbies throw up fairy tale stories, and this is another one. What did we get? $105 shot. So it doesn't matter who your horse is in a derby, they can all get up and cause that upset, and we've had one today, and well, the best horse won because he was there to be beaten and they couldn't get past him.
It was interesting too, we caught up with Noel Harris at the beginning of our coverage as well, streaming, and Aidan spoke to Noel about the win of Hale, and of course that was trained by Stephen's father in Bruce Marsh.
Yeah, and he only got there in the last bound. It was a very short margin that day, so there's a lot of similarities here. Great for Craig Grills because he's back from Singapore, and when a senior hoop comes back, there is a period of time where you have to re-establish those connections with senior trainers in the north, and I will say Craig has been working hard. He's been to Wairoa, Gisborne, you name it. He's gone across the country to ride, and that's allowed him to pick up some nice rides. I don't think, honestly, going to the race, Craig would have thought, I don't think I'm a show to win the race. And then the way the horse was in his mannerisms today, you think, well, he couldn't win, but he has. So well done to the team. And look, Stephen's one of our young trainers, marketable trainers, not just here but in Australia, and he's been supported by some of the big names, the big people that go and buy these horses and these expensive horses. So he's a real credit to our industry, Stephen, along with people like Andrew Forsman and others. So look, he'll go forward from this, Stephen, and he's got a lot of ammunition coming out in the new season, I believe.
Certainly does, and yeah, Craig Grills and Glenn Boss, they would have had a few of those fights down the Crangie Straight as well over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they got pretty close right at the line as well. I think the outside horse is lining in on them, so great to see Glenn here. We had Michael Rod come out for Te Rapa, so it's really good to have that international sprinkling of riders here in NZ, and yeah, Glenn went close. He's won a few big ones. I don't think he'll be too upset.
Yeah, so at $105, Crown Prosecutor closed off at that winning quote, and of course the first four resulted in around $42,000. Some big dividends around the race. It was 12, 3, 18 and 17 across the line, the first four numbers, and it does go to Crown Prosecutor and Stephen Marsh. He had two in the race. Did have Vernon Mee, who was well found in the market, and Crown Prosecutor wins. All right, final words from you, Aidan?
Yeah, they've just come back and having this presentation, and interesting the recurring theme from the presentation was they thought they were coming here to make up the numbers, and in the end they didn't just make up the numbers. They've been able to defy one of the favourites in a Twinkling, and also Surely Sacred, who was there and just quite didn't round it off. Wasn't Platinum Invader good to the line, but there's celebrations here and about to be the planting of the rose as well. So congratulations to these connections. We'll try and catch up with them very shortly as well and get a quick word. But in the meantime, I'll come back to you guys.
All right, thank you for that, Aidan. And yeah, we'll hold it there now with our streaming coverage. Hope you've enjoyed it here with news service, our second screen that we're able to bring to you via YouTube, giving you the lead into the Waikato Stud Plate and, of course, all the extra lead-in and stories around the Vodafone New Zealand Derby. And the main story of them all, as we've seen, one of the outsiders win the race at $105 and Crown Prosecutor for trainer Stephen Marsh and jockey Craig Grills, holding out that challenge from Inner Twinkling and Glenn Boss and Platinum Invader. Very good, finishing into third position. Hope you've enjoyed our streaming service here out of Ellerslie.